What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Two for Two, your sports podcast for the culture, by the voices of the culture. I'm your host, Keith, and I'm here as always, my brother Nelly. We are back on the pod today, man. Got another great episode for you guys, man. It's season 3, episode 43. Y'all know what we talking about. It's the NBA Finals. Let's get it. Now, my dog, you looking strong over there. You looking swole.
Oh, yeah. You talked about the NBA Finals, putting me to
You
sleep.
Donald Trump? Word.
Is he the good luck charm?
Hey, for the Spurs, clearly, they say he walked in with Wemby, so clearly he's not there for us. Adam Silver tries to get on.
Didn't he, wasn't he with Dolan?
Probably. So I'm just saying, I guess somebody texted me, it was like he walked in with Wemby. I don't know if there was a cut. I literally missed every single time they cut to Donald Trump on the pod. I mean, on the end of game. I didn't see him one time last night.
I only noticed him during the national anthem. That was about it.
Yep, I skipped that too. I saw when they on Twitter, I saw how he was like nodding off apparently at one point. Saw another one, a little clip. They say he was arguing to Adam Silver about the calls. We'll see. Either way, folks, we here. Knicks, Spurs, NBA Finals has finally seen the Knicks lose. The Knicks finally lose. Haven't lost in over a month's time.
About damn time.
Yeah, I mean, some people would say that. Some people would say that. I wouldn't. But, now we got a series now, right now. Knicks up 2-1. Obviously, the Knicks won the first 2 on the road. Spurs come to New York in game 1 in front of the president, in front of Jeremy Lin, in front of Iman Shumpert, Melo, and the rest of the world. Wemby and the Spurs get it done. They get a win. Following that victory now, would you say the Knicks are still in the driver's seat? Or now, after that win, do the Spurs have a real shot at getting back into this series in game 4 and going back to San Antonio with all the momentum?
Well, I think game 4 is certainly their only shot at really getting back into the series. Tying this up 2-2 would definitely help change the landscape a lot. But still feel like the Knicks are in the driver's seat. Still feel like they've got all the momentum. It's only their third loss this postseason, and you talk about what was it, a 1-point loss or a 2-point loss to the Hawks, and then you lose this game by 4 to the Spurs. So I mean, they haven't, even though they've dropped a couple games this postseason, they haven't really had one of those really awful games where it's like they were completely outplayed on both ends of the floor by the opposition. So there's still a lot to like about the Knicks in this series. Obviously the Spurs came out with a sense of urgency, got a double-digit lead, which I feel like they've been able to do in all 3 of these games. Build a not a decent lead, because 10 to 12 points is nothing in the NBA these days. That's nothing. But to have a good start and still keep that momentum going for the entire game. I honestly, I was a little worried the way they ended the half. The Knicks came out in that second quarter. Josh Hart was knocking down threes. I thought it was going to be the Josh Hart game.
Almost.
They had a really good close to that half. I think they were up 6 or 7 or something like that at half. And I thought it was just going to be the Knicks were just going to stomp them out the building in that second half once they finally got into a rhythm. But credit the Spurs and Wemby and Harper, Castle, and those boys for staying locked in. Wemby especially, being locked in for from start to finish in this game. So I still like the Knicks, because at the end of the day, I don't think they played. I mean, you I think would agree with this. So I don't think they've played their best game yet. And, they were up 2-0, two big wins on the road in San Antonio. And, you come home. I think all the excitement from, having a finals game in New York for the first time in 27 years. You saw the who's who of stars and athletes. I mean, even the president, like you said, showed up to the game. So I think a lot of that played into them not getting that game 3 victory. I think they'll come out in game 4. Like I said, it's the biggest game for the Spurs to get back in the series. Tie it up 2-2 is the only chance that they're going to have. of possibly, making this a legit series and, having a chance to actually go ahead and win the things. They go down 3-1. You could pretty much book it. Game six is in New York with a chance to close out. I mean, even if they don't, close out in game five in San Antonio, game six, the chance to close out in the Garden has, whew, good luck if that's the case for the Spurs. But yeah, I still think the Knicks have a lot of things, going for them. OG's been fantastic. I think we're still waiting. Brunson, has had some moments in the first two games, but I think we're still waiting for that Brunson game where he's just unstoppable. He hasn't, been efficient so far in this series, but he's knocked down some big shots. But just that efficient Brunson game where he's really getting to his spots and knocking down all his jumpers and middies. We're still waiting from that. You sent the stat about Karl Anthony Towns not having a bucket in the fourth quarter of these finals so far. I still think there's, as well as he's played, there's still a lot of things that he can do to help out. Clarkson ended up having a really good game. You never know who's going to help out off the bench with New York. So I still think, they've got a lot of firepower. I still think that their size on the perimeter, if the Spurs are going to continue to throw out four guards because that's their best lineup, I think it's going to be hard, over the course of the rest of the series to slow down Towns. And we've seen Mikal and OG have, a big impact on this series just because they just overpower and outsize the guards that they're putting on them. Get Harper and Vassell and Castle. Give them credit; they compete on both ends. But at the end of the day, I mean, pause. But I mean, size and length matters sometimes. We've seen OG pretty much just bully anyone that attacks a
Everything.
closeout on him. It doesn't matter who it is. And he's been, efficient and getting to the rim. Once he gets to the rim, if Wemby's not there to contest, I mean, there's nobody that's going to go up and stop OG from, getting a dunk or, getting to the basket. So I think at the end of the day, New York size is, still a key part in why they'll win this series. And, they'll knock down some more shots, they'll have all the jitters out of the way from having that first finals home game. And, I think they'll take care of business and possibly go up 3-1. But, even if they don't, I still like my Knicks in 6 pick.
Yeah, it's this game was needed, right? Like all things considered, we talking about the team that hasn't lost in so many days, right? All the momentum you touched on. I don't need to repeat myself again, or it doesn't need to be repeated. The emotions were high, right? That was a big game, and almost to the point where we added too much value to the meaning of that game, especially for the Knicks, right? The Spurs, we talked about it. That was a must win. They had to win that game. The Spurs came out and they looked like a team that was down 2-0, right? I know you texted me, you were excited. Wemby's first 3 buckets were exactly what they should be in a must win game. I come out and I give you 3 straight. I'm getting as close to the rim as possible. Stop me if you want to, right? Stop me if you want to. And they didn't, right? Knicks started off slow. The Knicks have been killing in the non-Brunson minutes, and that lineup with Jose. Usually it's Mikal. They'll put Cat. They might give them, Shamit and one other guy. And we've seen that kind of get the Knicks back into the game, but they started slow. I mean, you said it. We haven't had a great Brunson night yet, and he's had some fantastic moments, some big shots. Even last game, I mean, he hit his shot in the fourth. You know what I'm saying? He hit his shot on the way back, the 3 ball and all of that. But realistically, when I watch this series, and I'm looking, I still see the Knicks are just the better team right now. Right? They're just better equipped. They have more guys that you can trust. I mean, when you're watching the Spurs, it's pretty much Wemby, Castle, Harper. Right? You hope De'Aaron gives you a shot, right? And you got Castle and Harper who aren't good 3-point shooters. Even
What
Wemby.
I
I mean,
tell you,
Wemby's streaky.
I told you, Wemby got to be special for them to win.
And you're absolutely right. But to that point, I want to say from last game was the bad that I was kind of alluding to with Jalen Brunson and the Knicks, right? We reverted back to that team that lost to Atlanta, right? Stat for you. Last night was the first time that the Knicks committed more than 12 turnovers and had less than 20 assists. since April 23rd when they lost to the Hawks in game 3. Mike Brown comes out, he says it. Yeah, tonight we just wanted to sit around and watch one guy dribble all night. That's what we did. We watched Jalen Brunson play. The Spurs pushed up the pressure. They said, hey, we got to win this. We're going to get as physical as possible. We're gonna grab. We're going to push. We're going to do as you should, right? Like this is the physicality in the NBA that you desire, right? This is what you want. And that's what they got. And I think it weighed on the Knicks. The Knicks kind of thought, hey, shit, we've been steamrolling people. They the young team everybody been talking about. They coming to the Garden with the glitz, the glamour. They gonna lay down for us. No, no, sir. No, sir. And I think the Knicks thought they was gonna have an easy one. Even still, even with Brunson not playing well, even with him kind of commanding the ball too much, even with Mikal, I think he had 2 points in 30 minutes of play. He had a bunch of fouls, right? Not able to get a flow. And we talked about how important Mikal Bridges has been to this team, right? When he picked up 2 in the first, the Knicks looked a little off, right? So all of those things considered, still a game that the Knicks very well could have won. Still a game that many fans watching the game were like, oh, we've seen this before. Knicks pull this one out. It's too close. It's cool. We lost, right? Series 2-1. You still got the lead. At the end of the day, you just want to win 4 games first. And so, it's no real reason to think we should have gone, swept them. It would have been great. But let's be realistic. They won't get swept. I'm not going to get into.
Thankfully,
right? It would have been a very, very bad look. But I'm not going to get into the officials and all of that. It wasn't a great officiated game, but like I said, I think game 3 needed to happen. New York still in the driver's seat. That's one of those games that you say, okay, look, we was knocking them out. They punched us in the mouth. Now you come out game 4, you got to show how you responded. A real champion comes out in game 4 and says, hold on real quick. We owe you this plus some. Right. And that's what I'm expecting from the Knicks. I don't think, let's just go ahead. San Antonio, let's knock him out now. Let's not even give him hope. Going back to San Antonio saying, hey, it's all evened up. Right? It's all evened up. I think the Knicks are in the driver's seat. We know what we need to fix. Get back to what we've been doing, what's got us here, just got us this far. Unselfish, team first, playing defense. We need it. You talked about Cat in the fourth quarter. Hasn't been giving us much. He's been playing out of his mind. Out of his mind. Hasn't given you anything offensively, at least in the fourth quarter. I think last night I texted you. I said he doesn't seem very engaged from the first tip. He didn't seem very engaged. I think, obviously the Spurs plan is to get physical with him, make him earn it, see if we can pick some cheap ones in the process. I think it impacted him just a little bit. And it just kind of deterred him. But like you said, that 4-guard lineup where they trying to put Wemby on Josh Hart, gotta kill that. Cat, OG, gotta kill that. This your chance to get Finals MVP, fellas. OG figured it out. He was cool in the first two games. We hadn't seen OG really outside of the defensive impact. Last night was really great. So I think you got some real things to kind of build on. You touched on the Jordan Clarkson minutes. Still too many turnovers. He comes in, he's just a little wild. But that's the lineup that they can the Knicks can get a little wild with him. You go smaller, you play faster. Cool. But yeah, I'm not overly concerned. I still think we're in a great spot. 2-1 with another game in the Garden. Like you said, you win this one, and then we've seen Knicks in closeout games have been dynamite. Absolutely dynamite. So get this one, go to San Antonio, come back and do what you gotta do. And we'll see. We'll take it from there. We talked about Wemby. You said it. Wemby has to be special for the Spurs to have a chance. I think he had 32 last night. Hit some big threes, got some big time blocks, set the tone, led the team. Do you think that he's performed up to your expectations of him thus far in the finals?
I think he's been pretty good. I don't think he's been special. Like I said, he needs to be to win the series. You look at his numbers, I think he's averaging 27 and a half, 10 and a half rebounds. You look at those good numbers for a star, and especially in your first NBA finals as was he 22 years old. But I feel like more can definitely be done. Like you said, he came out and he really set the tone in game 3. And I think that was a big difference from games 1 and 2, where he got off to relatively slow starts. And he game one, had a pretty good fourth quarter. Same with game two. I think he only had like 7 points in first half of game two. But like you said, seeing him come out and really set the tone in that first half, I think was a big difference in why they were able to hold on and get their first win in this finals. Um, he is everything that we think he is. He 7'5", can do it all on the court. Um, but when you see him start the game the way he did, like you said, 3 buckets in the paint, um, you know, uh, posting up for once, you know, turn around, dunking on people, catching alley oops, finishing around the basket. I mean, I don't know how you stop that. I literally don't know if he decided to put in his mind, I'm not shooting a 3-pointer. Now, I mean, I don't knock the 3-pointers. It's part of the evolution of the game. Obviously, you saw he knocked down some big ones um in that second half. But I mean, if he really just got into the mindset of I'm not leaving the restricted area for this entire game, I mean, that's just gonna pose so many issues and problems. I mean, we saw the foul trouble. Whether
I was
whatever you
gonna
thought
say
about
that.
the officiating from last night, good or bad,
Bad.
when you get in a position to put your team in the bonus with 8 minutes left in any quarter, you're gonna have a lot of success. So constantly putting pressure on the officials on the opposing team's defense. I think that's a recipe for him to, if he really wants to come back and win this finals. But overall, he's still had a pretty good series. I think it could be more impactful. Like I said, I think if he stays locked in for 48 minutes and doesn't have these slow starts, like really setting the tone in that first quarter, as you knew what kind of game he was going to have from opening tip, just the way he came out. So I mean, if he continues to set the tone in the first quarter and can be a force from start to finish, they got a chance to get back in the series. But a lot of it falls on him because, like you said, Castle and Harper, young great guards, and I mean, I think they're going to be one of, if not the best backcourt in the league, for years to come. But you know, still Jumper is still a work in progress. They're forcing him to knock down some shots, and credit to Harper, he knocked down some, not Harper, Castle knocked down a huge three in that fourth quarter.
Nasty. After
Yeah.
shooting that jump off just shooting bricks at the rim.
Hey, sometimes you need some luck.
Oh, that's a backbreaker.
But those guys, still got some growing to do. I think New York's just the more complete team. A couple more proven shooters out there. But he's looked great so far. I mean, can't really knock him too much.
Yeah.
Just like to see his efficiency up and him to lock in earlier in the games. But I mean, he's off to a terrific start per usual. I mean,
Yeah.
this is Wemby,
I mean,
and to
where
do it
where
in the
he's at,
Garden. First finals went in the Garden. First 30-point finals
he's
game
had
in the
some
Garden.
good nights in the Garden before. It's okay. I mean, he's
But
he's doing he's doing he's doing about what I expect him to do.
I mean, his moments in the Garden wasn't like this though.
I mean, biggest
Not a
stage,
finals
biggest
game, biggest
biggest
stage
stage, biggest stage, and like I
in
think
front
he's
of the
right on point.
president.
I think not my president, not his either. So I don't really think Wemby gives a damn. I hope he don't. And if he does, take him back to France with you, Wemby. I don't care. Um, I think it's what we talked about, man. Like at worst, he's gonna always impact the game on one end of the floor, right? We've seen Wemby. I mean, he honestly this series has kind of put his like on ball defense on display, right? Like obviously he's having trouble guarding Cat out at the perimeter, of course. But I mean, it's not many cats in the game at his position, right? Were you really worrying about that? Um, but outside of that, I mean, he's still at the rim. He's still there, right? How many times you see a Nick drive in and just go in, curtail right back out and have to reinitiate, right? Like that's gonna always be there. Offensively, he is what he is. I mean, he's 7'4", 7'5", streaky shooter, has a decent handle, but he needs to add strength and he needs to work on his efficiency. And I mean, I think that's what you see in the finals right now. Like 32 points, fantastic. But we talked about it. That first quarter, the way he came out was like like you've been asking, right? That's what everybody been asking. But you did see him slowly as the game progressed step away from that, right? It could be fatigue, right? It could just be, hey, I'm an unselfish guy. Let my guys get, do their thing. For him to say, for me to say he exceeded expectations would be for me to see him be more efficient. Would be for me to see him, you know, do that all the time, right? 30 every night. Why not, right? Why not put Cat? Why not put Mitch in a bind and make the Knicks overall have to have answers, right? Have to have some answers.
He spoiled me with that 40 and 20 game because now I'm expecting not necessarily 40 and 20, but
but that's the impact he can have, and it's
I
like
know he can do it every game if he wanted to.
exactly. The reason why we saying this, people, is because when you look at how it's done, it's like I have a hard time believing he cannot recreate that possession out of possession. I get he's getting bumped, people being physical with him, and obviously that's going to come with time. He needs polishing on his offensive game. Fine,
8
but
rebounds still pisses me off too, but go ahead.
there are still more than enough ways for him to be in and around the back. I mean, like we said, when Castle is straight line drive, hop step, playoff two, pump fake, and go up, this man should be running into the paint, snagging whatever. Give me that tip out, go get it at the 3-point line, and then play from there. But I mean, obviously, that's almost superhuman, right? This is the alien, and I guess he is human. So we got to accept that he's human with that. So to say that he hasn't performed to expectations would be false. He's doing just fine. He's exactly where he should be, and he's doing what he's got to do. Another guy, though, Dylan Harper, exceeding expectation. Rookie, not a rookie no more, right? They said it in the broadcast yesterday. They said, yeah, his rookie year's done. He's already ready. This is year 2 now, right? The year 2 leap has begun in the finals, man. We're seeing this guy. I mean, I know I'll let you talk about him a little bit after, but I mean, getting downhill, making shots, getting in your face. Like, I mean, he got in Cat's face, he done got in Brunson's face, he done got in OG's face, he done got in Mikael's face. Just not scared of the moment, like at all. Like not scared of the moment. And like the jumper is a work in progress, but even that, he'll give you a couple back breakers. That's the scariest part about him and Castles. Like they get downhill, missing the outside shot. So it's like you gotta want them to shoot it. But then those two guys are, if nothing else, they're not afraid of the moment and they do hit big shots. Talk to me a little bit about Dylan Harper's rise, Nell, and just how your position on him and how you see that moving forward.
Yeah, man, I love me some Dylan Harper. Me and you had a chance to go see him play at Maryland University when he, was playing for Rutgers. And at the time, I mean, a lot of the hype was about Ace Bailey. I mean, this was a guy that was uh, you know, back and forth. People were like, is it gonna be Coop or is it gonna be Ace for the #1 overall pick? But after that game, I walked away and I said, I mean, God, this kid Dylan Harper, he could be the best player in the draft, and
Yeah.
certainly, I thought after watching that, I thought at worst he was going to be an all-star level guard in the NBA, and I still believe that wholeheartedly. Uh, the future is so bright for this young kid um, to play the poise that he's had. He's arguably looked like the second best player on the Spurs in this finals. Just an incredible playoff run. Already broke David Robinson's franchise record for most playoff points by a rookie. Um, I think I think he had the most points in the first quarter of an opening finals game for a rookie in the play-by-play era, which was like 1998. So. I mean, he had 10 points in that opening quarter of game 1. So, I mean, he's, like you said, he can get downhill. It's really hard to stay in front of him. And if he works on that jumper, man, the sky is the limit. You can already see, I mean, Fox hasn't had, the best playoff run. I know he's dealing with that high ankle sprain that, probably would have kept him out if it was the regular season. But you can just see that Castle and Harper, that's the backcourt of the future. And I mean, to go along with a 7'5" demigod like Wemby, I mean, teams should be terrified. But I mean, for him to just show up the way he has, game in and game out, and not even just the scoring, like he I think he's averaging like 7 rebounds.
Yeah, he's getting on the glass. He's on the glass.
He comes up with huge offensive rebounds. It feels like every close game he is changing the game with his clutch offensive rebounds, a big fast break point here, a dagger three there. Yeah, it just seems like he just always does something that contributes to winning. And I
Yeah,
mean that type of I mean that to go along with just his talent. I mean he's going to be a special player.
yeah. He's one of those guys that, even as a fan of the Knicks, and we talk, me and Nell, contrary to popular belief, we actually do like each other sometimes, and we talk during the games, man. And
Sometimes
that's the one guy where it's like when he's off the floor, we're like, what the hell? Why? Like why is Dylan Harper not in the game? Because he just impacts the game, impacts winning that much. Like you said, it doesn't have to be scoring.
that's a
He'll
big
get up
reason
for
why I
you,
picked the
the
Knicks
rebound.
because it's like it's hard to keep him off the court. And I knew they was going to trot out that 4 guard lineup, and I just feel like that's just not enough size. But I mean,
Yeah,
he's
if you're
just
gonna
so
go
damn good.
rebound,
You can't keep him on the bench.
yeah, yeah, he's definitely bringing a different intensity, and he's pushing him over that edge. Because, like you said, I think if he just plays like a rookie, even if he just kind of plays, he had a hell of a rookie year. Don't get me wrong, but if he just kind of play like that, Knicks might be up 3-0, right? We talk about De'Aaron being hobbled. Obviously, you know, Devin Vassell and Julian Champagny, those are the sharpshooters for the Spurs. That's their job. They shoot threes, and that's it. Anything else, if you run them off the line, anything else, mm, that's it. Carter
Yeah, they got
Bryant,
to upgrade. They got to
unplayable.
upgrade that 4 spot.
Yeah, Carter Bryant, unplayable. So Dylan Harper being able to play and be impactful on the boards, pushing the tempo, defending 94 feet has definitely helped get the Spurs a chance in this series, man. On the Knicks side of things, man, like OG Anunoby, though, my guy, a guy that's a champion, but you remember he had that emergency appendectomy when he was a rook, didn't play for Toronto. Last night, what, 27, I think, if I'm not mistaken? I was just looking at it.
28.
28. 28 points for OG Anunoby currently in this series now. In this series, averaging 20 points, almost 21. Shooting 54% from the field, 44% from three, 89% from the line. Also, rebounding 4 boards a game, averaging almost 2 blocks a game, averaging a steal a game. Are we giving OG enough love, man? Like, just his impact. You talked about it a little bit earlier, being that big athletic wing, but we've seen OG take a step as a Nick, right? We've seen him kind of launch himself. We saw second team all defense this year. Some would say, I would say, should have been first team all defense, but they like the 7-footers that roam the court. So to each its own. But looking at what OG's done in this series, or just for the Knicks in general, man, is he getting enough love?
I don't think he is, and not just from me, uh, a guy that I'll be honest, I didn't think he could have this kind of impact on a championship team. As
Mm.
the third, fourth guy, whichever one, yeah, he's probably safe as the third option on that team. But um, a guy that doesn't need plays run for him. I wouldn't say he necessarily has. I know this is like a big Twitter convo, but like, I don't think he necessarily has a bag. Like,
He
he
efficient
attacks
though. He get to his
closeouts.
spots.
He again, it's very efficient. Attacks the closeout,
It's that Kawhi Leonard,
knocks down the open three,
the Kawhi
can
tree.
take it to the basket, make his free throws. Um, but yeah, foolish of me. I really didn't. I thought paying him 200 million was going to be another backbreaking move for the Knicks. But I mean, yeah, like on many nights he looks like the best player on the Knicks. What he does
Yeah,
on both ends of the floor. Um, and like you said, I think he only took 13 shots last game, 14, something like that. Um, the efficiency
13.
of
13.
yeah, like 9 of 13, like the efficiency that comes with his high scoring games, um, his ability to lock up on both ends of the floor, rebound, play defense, get in the passing lanes, block shots, strong as an ox. So I mean, when he puts his head down and goes to the rim, you really there's really nothing anybody can do to affect this shot. We saw him take it to the rim and just dunk,
Yeah, man.
just take it to the rim and just dunk it. It doesn't matter who's in the paint at the time. So I mean, like I can't say enough about him. I mean, first year he got there, you had the Pacer series in the second round. That whole series turned once he injured his hamstring. We've seen plenty of times throughout the years since he's been there, his tenure in New York. When he misses time, that's when the Knicks are most vulnerable. That's when they struggle the most.
Yeah.
I think his usage percentage is like under 18%. So for somebody to be that impactful and to
Right.
not really be used on the offensive end, one could argue maybe he should get a couple more looks, but
Mm.
that just that's what makes him so dangerous is that he doesn't need the ball in his hands. He sacrifices uh so much. He plays defense and he'll just go down and whatever you need him to do offensively. You need him to catch and shoot three, he'll do that. Attack a closeout, he'll do that. Hit a midi, he'll do that. Get to the free throw line, he'll do that. Make the right pass, he'll do that too. So I mean, he is just the ultimate Swiss Army knife for the Knicks. Could play him at multiple positions. We see him guarding Wemby, guarding out on the perimeter. Like it doesn't matter what's needed from him. He'll do it at a pretty much elite level. So, got to give tons of credit to him. He has definitely, he has earned that 200 million, that max contract.
Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
yet definitely deserves a lot more praise for the way that he makes this Knicks engine run.
Yeah. He doesn't get enough credit in the league. He doesn't get enough credit as a Knick. I mean, I would think if I'm building the prototypical 3-and-D wing, he looks and plays just like this. Looks and plays just like this. Strong, athletic. I mean, you said it. OG Anunoby. What I love about OG, and it could be because, like you said, he's not super duper duper skilled in the sense of I'm doing move, move, move. I'm giving you all of this. Like honestly,
That's also a great part about him too, because he doesn't force it.
and that was exactly what I was. That's what I was getting toward OG because I think OG is very, very, very clear and comfortable in who he is as a player. Hey, I work on straight line drive, dunk. Every straight line drive is a dunk, or at least an attempt. I work on catch and shoot, corner three. I work on, hey, now that I got the corner three, I'm one of the best corner 3-point shooters in the league by average, right? I got to have a pump fake, one dribble pull up. I got to have a pump fake, one dribble step back to my three. And that's all you see him do time and time out. If he's two dribbles and doesn't have it, kick, move to space. And you need that on your team, right? You need a guy that, like you said, is unselfish enough to say, hey, I don't have to have the ball every play. I don't have to you don't have to call nothing for me. If you don't call the ball, if I don't get the ball for 3 plays, I'm gonna go get a rebound, I'm gonna go get a block, I'm gonna go get a steal, and I'm gonna go get a dunk because I should have probably had the ball, right? I think OG
And
doesn't.
it doesn't affect how he plays on either end.
You would
Like I
never
say,
know. You
not
would never
everybody in the NBA can be a star, but you can be a star in your role.
on
And
your role.
he
On
is a
your role.
superstar in his role. I'll say that.
Absolutely. And that leads me to my next question, man, to wrap this show up, man. Talk to me about the finals MVP race because OG's got a case as a Knick. Cat might have a little case as a Knick. Obviously, Brunson, he's averaging 27 a night. Most people are going to punt to him, even though we've already said it hasn't been a great series. He'll be the first to tell you as well, right? Obviously, on the Spurs side, I think you got Wemby, pretty evident, right? But how do you see this MVP finals race going? Could you see an OG sneak out of there, with a couple more good nights or what?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm close. I'm pretty much about to eliminate Cat after seeing that fourth quarter stat.
Just that. I was gonna
Yeah.
say like that.
You can't go scoreless, and it's not like these 3 games have been blowouts either. Every game has
Nah.
been pretty much single digits. I forget
6 shots total in the fourth quarter across 3
yeah,
games.
and like I said, I said it would be a travesty if he doesn't feast in this series because I expected them to guard him with. I mean, De'Aaron Fox has been guarding him in the fourth quarter, so um, that pretty much disqualifies him for me. OG definitely has a case. You read off the numbers: 21, 54% shooting, 44 from three,
Damn near
89 from
50,
free throw line.
49. That's tough in the finals.
Um, Definitely can't rule it out. We saw a man by the name of Andre Iguodala steal a Finals MVP, averaging 14, 15 points. Honestly, if that, and got it just off the strength of guarding LeBron James to the tune of like 35, 10, and 9. So, I mean, if that can get you a Finals MVP, everything's out the window at that point. But I think Brunson, if the Knicks win, it's still going to be the favorite. Big shots, not. I mean, the efficiency isn't there, but I mean, big moments, critical shots and critical moments. The big shot in Game 1 to put them up 6. Um, knock down some key baskets in Game 2. Knock down the free throw to seal it. So, um, I think Brunson is a safe, clear front runner. But OG is, I'll tell you what, he has a couple more,
Yeah, give me another
25
25.
to
Yeah.
25 to 30-point games, efficient the way, he has been, and, continues to do what he does defensively. You know, what did you say he was averaging 2 blocks or
2
2
blocks, bro.
steals, one of them? I mean,
2 blocks and almost 2 steals.
he definitely has a chance. I mean, a lot of people say if, the Warriors had won that Game 7, that Draymond would have won Finals MVP in that series. So
Yeah,
never rule it out.
yeah.
It doesn't always go to, the number one player and, the person that averaged the most points. So, but I still like Brunson. Like I said, definitely don't think we've heard the last of Jalen Brunson or seen the best of Jalen Brunson in this finals yet, for sure. I think he's got a 40 piece in him.
Oh yeah, 40-point closeout game would be wonderful. Um, it's tough because you think about this type of award, and like obviously, like I think it will end up going to Jalen Brunson, just off of the strength of the amount of points, but the efficiency of OG, the defensive versatility is gonna be that's gonna be hard to stop. Now Brunson got a 5 steal game in his repertoire this postseason. One of 5 guards. I'm pretty sure to have 25, 5, and 5 in the game. Might have been 4. I think 4 guards. Rondo, I think Jordan, somebody else. But anyway, you get my point. But I do want to say though, do you? Because I don't. I absolutely don't have a problem with Jalen Brunson shooting 25 to 30 shots a game, even if he's
Well,
off. Right?
why
Like
would you?
for me, this is the finals. Right? I would be pissed, mortified, if we were playing games and Jalen Brunson's going out there with 15 or less shots a night.
Honestly,
It's
I'd like to see Cat get up, that
Ex-
many shots too, or at least
it
I'm
is
close
the
to it.
finals. Go out swinging. If you need 25 to get to 30, you need 30 to get to 30. We need all 30 to win. Nobody's going to talk about Jalen Brunson averaging 27 and shooting 35% from the
If
field. They're going
Jalen
to
Brunson
say,
decided not to shoot in the fourth quarter of Game 1 because he was struggling,
shoot him.
you don't get the heroics of Game 1. So
Yeah,
look, man, your best players got to keep shooting.
got to keep shooting. And so that's our call to action, Carl. We want to see you shoot the rock, man. If you watch this before tomorrow, shoot the rock.
I know Cat already got a fire quote already written out,
You're going to leave my man.
rehearsed. He's ready.
All right, real quick before we wrap up, give me a Game 4 prediction. What you got? You got the Knicks?
I'm gonna take the Knicks. I'm rooting for the Spurs just because I won
We
at
know.
least 6 games, but
We know. We know.
I'll take the Knicks. The Knicks will go up 3-1. They're not
Knicks
about
up
to lose
3.
back-to-back home games.
Hey, man. Knicks off a loss have been great. Maybe this will spark us to not lose for another couple months. Who knows? We'll go into the summer league not losing. We'll see. But, folks, that's going to do it for this episode of 2 for 2, man. Season 3. It's episode 43. The finals are we right in the thick of it now. 2-1 Knicks. Still in the Garden. Will Wemby pull off another one? Will Wemby become the biggest menace in New York? Right? You got people already getting beat up on the streets for wearing Spurs jerseys. Y'all better stop wearing that mess out of New York, trying to be funny. This is not a game, people. I want all y'all to be safe. New York Knicks fans are not okay. I am not okay. Stop texting me and leave the Knicks fans alone. Or will Jalen Brunson just go ahead and take care of business like he should? The captain of the New York Knicks, the captain of New York, the king of the garden. We'll see. We'll talk to y'all next time, man. That's going to do it. You know where to find us on all platforms at 2for2pod, all your social medias, all your streaming platforms at 2for2pod. You know where to find us. Keith Snell, 2for2. You know what we're doing. Getting up out of here. Peace.